what do we got in new releases? Nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's the week after Christmas. This is not when people are releasing games.
There's literally
Although
nothing.
this is a slow week for Switch. It looks like only 20 games came out.
Right.
And most of them are pool.
There's a game called American Man, and Tunnel of Doom caught my eye, but it's not the Texas Instruments game.
American Man. Let's
take a
what that
peek.
brings up. Let's Google that.
It's not going to be good. It can't be something good that's going to portray us in a positive manner. It's got to be either we're beating people up or we're eating too much.
Or
That's
both.
my prediction. Or both.
Maybe beat up people and then eat them.
Oh, okay. It's a 2D side scroller where you look like Rambo.
I knew it. Beating
And it
people
looks
up.
like is he shooting Harambe here? Is that what's going on?
Oh no.
It looks like he's fighting a gorilla, a panda. It looks at some point like he's fighting a panda bear, as American men do.
I will have to pick this up.
So it looks like a Contra type thing.
Right.
Supports 1 players
Exciting.
and English.
Fantastic. That's why it's going to get my $10. All right. Let's move on to GPD's Wombat's Fortnightly News. Yes. I feel like the most interesting story here is Square Enix president saying that blockchain is going to be like a major part of their gaming business going forward, starting now.
Well, they can't sell any other games, so they might as well start doing something.
No, I mean, they're going to be putting this
What was the
inside
last
the
big hit
games.
Square Enix had? Like I'm talking major blockbuster in video games, where it was something that everyone was talking about and made them like huge tons of cash.
Final Fantasy 14 Online.
How long ago? I mean, that's still.
I mean, it's
exists.
still huge right now. Like that.
But that's like
theirs.
it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, and I'm not saying they're bad games. I don't think Hitman set the world on fire, and I heard only good things about that. The Avengers was a big money loss for them. The Guardians of the Galaxy, which we'll talk about shortly. I don't think I haven't seen the numbers, but I also
Wait, it's not a good sign that I picked up the $80 version for $24 yesterday at Target.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign.
Mm-hmm. But other than Final Fantasy 14,
Right.
I mean, is that it though? That's it, right?
In the Western market, right? Like, I'm sure there's Dragon Quests that are doing gangbusters over in Japan.
So they have to diversify if they want to stay in business. And they're like, oh, what is the scam du jour? And they're like, blockchain.
It sounds bad. This whole thing.
Of course it sounds bad.
It's
'cause
really,
it is
to
bad.
me, it really sounds like the onset of macrotransactions. Like it's a way, like how can we charge, all right, forget about like $10 for a skin. How can we charge $500 for a skin? How can we charge $200 for a skin? And the way
there's
you
only
can
one
do
of
that,
them, or there's only 1,000 of them.
right. Right. And the only way that you can really, or maybe a better way that you can do it, because you'll have a better selling point to say, hey, okay, you're going to give us some fucking obscene amount of money for this helmet in the game, but you can resell it and you can potentially make money for it. So you're now combining, like, you're really like fucking with people's brains who are already.
Doesn't this feel a little bit like Skater Girl? Wasn't it Skater Girl?
Yes. Well,
like it feels like we've circled back around to that where people are selling their own creations, but they're not creating it; they're just buying it and then
That was what, an
selling
Xbox 360 concept?
It was an Xbox 360 concept early on. It went nowhere.
No,
Right.
it never manifested in any way, shape, or form. But I remember it, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah, this just feels like that. Like I don't
I
need
think
a way
there's
to
a simpler
make
way
money
to do
while
it.
I'm
Yeah,
playing video games.
I think there's a better way to sell this and package it, and to not call it NFT or blockchain, but to
Right.
actually call it limited edition items that they are only selling X amount of, even digitally.
right.
I think it's a better proposition. It's something that I think gamers can wrap their heads around.
But they're not. But the companies, here's what the companies want. They want to be like the credit card company, where like we're getting a cut of these transactions that are just happening. We don't have to do anything. Like we floated this stuff out there, and let's let our customers now trade amongst themselves. And every time they do it, we're getting X percent.
It's the Diablo 2 no problems model.
Yeah. Right.
That went off great.
Right.
Because the games, it's when do the games start to suffer because of it? That's the question.
Immediately.
Like
because it's such a, I mean, look, these games are already putting in all these virtual currency things that aren't tied to real money, okay? And it already is fucking the games up. Like, it's clear, like, when we see games that have like 3 forms of virtual currency in it, it's never a good thing. Like, no one's ever like, oh, that really helped. You know, with Destiny and all that. It's like, it's too much. And now, like, they want to do it in a way that we can sort of make it into gambling and tie it in with real world currency. And that's what this is. And also enables macrotransactions, which is basically
not gambling, it's investing.
Well, investing is gambling.
I know, I'm being
and this is the riskiest form of it, basically, that you can do right now. That's, from your phone.
Unless it's, there's only 5 of these items available for sale in Final Fantasy 14. They cost $1,000 each.
That's part of it. You have to have the hit.
Now.
You have to have the hit to make it work to begin
That's the thing, yeah.
You can't structure a game around it that's not a hit. Like, you could put these NFTs in Marvel's Avengers, and it's going to be the same as all those marketplace items that nobody's buying.
Exactly. But if you put it in Final Fantasy 14, if you put it in, and I hate to say it, you put it in Fortnite, you put it in Call of Duty,
but it's just a numbers game, right? It's only because these games have big number base. They're only going to get like a tiny percentage of users
they only
who ever
need a
fuck
tiny
with this.
percentage if they're only selling 1,000 of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Each.
That's my fear. That is my fear.
That's what I think they're going to do. These aren't going to be. That's the only way to make it make sense. You have to make it scarce. You have to make it a limited supply item. Otherwise that's the value of it. The value of it is that there's only 20 of these helmets available in Call of Duty. If you have it, that means you're one of the 20 people who bought it. And every time someone sees you wearing it, they know that you're one of those high rollers that has the $1,000 helmet.
I get it. But it's just, and I know that, like,
account to get it.
Right. Oh my God, they're fucking hacking accounts like crazy. There's literally a website.
Monkey. They're gonna steal your monkey.
There's a website for Call of Duty for that. When you get your account hacked, you go to this website and it's all basically automated. You fill out a form and like, we'll give you your account. Happened to me. We'll give you your account back in about 7 business days, because it's such a prominent thing. Imagine now that there's real money tied into this. Like, holy fuck. Although maybe it's like, it's blockchain, so it's not even tied into, it's not going to be tied into this Activision, or maybe it will. I don't fucking know. But all I do know is all this shit requires resources to make, and it's resources that are being put into making fucking 50 helmets instead of like making the game good.
Game better. Yeah,
like,
of course.
It's just, it
100%.
costs money, and they have to, it's not like they can just snap.
Because they can make $50,000 that day, plus whatever percentage they get on the resale. And again, it'll be $50,000 in 5 minutes. Let's not even let's say what it is. If Call of Duty tomorrow said we're only selling 50 of these helmets, and when they're gone, and they're $1,000 each, I don't think they would last more than 5 minutes.
Unfortunately, I think that's right. And maybe in a game like that where it's just like, okay, like clearly that game is already like a microtransaction paradise. It's not even microtransactions anymore because you're paying like $10 and $20 for skins. So really at this point, like this is just a way. It's really just a way to justify charging like a ridiculous amount for skins, because like, hey, these have value. You can sell them. Like, it's not, it's not just you threw your $100 away. Like, it's an investment.
It's an event. It
has
only
residual
are
value.
Doing 50
like, it's
of
not
these, but yeah, it's part of the Call of Duty market, the Call of Duty, user market, or whatever they're going to call it, the Call of Duty Bazaar.
So like,
where you can,
So a game like Call of Duty, I'm not like worried about this happening. Like, the game was built for that. Like, no, it's not even going to skip a beat. It'll just like, it won't change anything. But I'm worried about like other games implementing this. Like, hey,
I think Shipwreck is right. If the game needs to be a hit and have an audience first,
okay.
Otherwise, there's no purpose to
What
it.
about a game like, let's say, Way of the Samurai? Just not Way of the Samurai. What the fuck was that game called?
Let's say
Sucker
Tomb Raider. Let's go with Tomb Raider.
Okay.
A game that Square Enix has repeatedly said did not make enough money for them, even though
Fine.
it sold like crazy and got various Game of the Year awards.
Yes.
Mhm.
What are they going to do to screw that up?
They're going to do that. They're going to, you want like, we're going to make like 50 gold pickaxes. And if you want the gold pickaxe, it's going to run you $200, but you can resell them for quarks or
what
whatever.
is
Is that better for me as the consumer?
No.
I guess
Because if that's giving them this extra sort of resource of money of like these few people paying all this money for that,
Right.
and I'm getting my Tomb Raider game because they can afford to make it because they make enough money then.
Right. Because they're taking advantage of whales.
Am I benefiting from that? I think I am.
In a way, you are. I don't think you're wrong. I think but why it doesn't work in Tomb Raider, though, I think there's that second part of it is how do you show off your gold pickaxe, which isn't
Right.
a thing in Tomb Raider. It needs to have that cachet of I have this thing and everyone needs to know I have
It's got to be an online game.
It has to be an online game because trust me, I know I play the stupid Fortnites, and when I get my level 200 skin variant, I wear that thing for that first week I have it, so everyone knows that I hit level 200. Then I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this. I don't even like it, and then I go back to wearing something I like.
I think with Square Enix, then you only have two routes with that, right? You have the Final Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
and you have mobile games.
Yeah. So okay. Right? Yes.
So those things aren't going to affect us, is what you're saying.
They're not going to affect us other than if they just decide not to make the games that we want anymore because these other things become
right
moneymakers.
I noticed that the chat went completely silent over this whole conversation.
No.
And I'm just wondering if they're bored or if they just agree with us.
No. It's interesting because, look, it's fucking coming. And so I think it's worth discussing. It's not a question of it's coming or not. It's a question of, is there a way where it can make sense in a way that Shipwreck just said, and I don't disagree with him. And also is it going to ruin the games? And what games will it make sense in even from the publisher standpoint? Like, why would they make a new game that has this thing that has no install base, that has no audience? What's the point? Right. I guess sort of the thing that I took away from this discussion was really it is only going to fit into certain types of games like online and multi, because you're right, it is this mentality of showing off your digital identity. Isn't like the whole basis of NFTs?
That's
really
literally the planet,
right? And so obviously you're playing Assassin's Creed, okay, whatever, like if there's no online mode, it doesn't matter if you have the magic axe that you paid $100 for,
and no one's gonna want to buy it because once you're 3 Assassin's Creed games later,
right,
even if that axe moves from game to game to game,
it's got to be multiplayer.
It's got, no one's going to care because no one's going to see it. It's got to be multiplayer. It's got to have an audience. It's got to have a continuous audience.
And so if it's multiplayer, like, is it that offensive anymore? Like, are you offended? Does it affect us? Like, if we just want to ignore that, like, but that really means that they're designing. Here's the only thing that I don't like. It's like, all right, they're really just, they're capable of designing all this neat stuff, but they're going to save it for the people who can spend $500 on it. Like, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't make me feel good. I just paid for this game.
It's a business though. If they know that they can make money off of it,
it seems guaranteed too. Like that's
it does. Like
if you were to go on eBay or wherever you can go and find,
I can go on eBay.
Yeah, they sell accounts. You could find people selling their Fortnite accounts. People who have the first 10 season passes and all the skins.
I figured that was your long play, Wombat.
People
I figured that was your retirement right here.
You know what? Right. I have every skin from chapter 2 is on my account.
So how much is your account worth?
I could probably sell that. I honestly would have to look it up, but I have a feeling that it has more value than I realized. Okay. Not that I plan on selling it.
Right.
Because I like what I have, but there is value to that. There's value to people who have those accounts where they sell them, on the black market account selling, where you can get banned for that if Fortnite finds out. It's just a matter of when do they make that not a bannable offense? When do they make that part of the game?
Right. And then they can take a percentage.
And they could take a percentage where it's, oh, you have these things. These are the things you can transfer. You can't transfer your account, but these are the things you can sell. And here's how you're going to be able to sell them. So, I mean, it's already a thing that kind of happens with all of these MMOs. I'm sure there's someone who's selling a World of Warcraft, account online for more money than we've realized because it has, the sheep something,
Yep. No, I mean, all these games, the dream is like, how can we make money like on the transaction side, like where we're not really doing anything. We're not producing a lot of content, but we can just have an evergreen cut of of the action. It just seems like, it's a great business model, obviously. And they want it.
I just think there's a way to do this without calling it NFTs or blockchain or having to use those terms du jour.
Well, what was Ubisoft's? Ubisoft's like quartz. How about quartz?
So I don't know.
Is that better? Is that really better?
I don't know. It's all dumb to me.
All right.
Anyway.